Hey, everybody. That was a sigh of I'm back, relief, all that. How is everyone doing? Please, please let me know. Put your comments. I can see them. Lord, I got so much to talk about today. Good evening. Hi, something to think about. L Nix, how you doing? How are you doing? Are you still doing your podcast going live? Let me know. So I've been trying to, since I'm back in this podcast world, I've been trying to like come to people's channels and stuff. So let me know if y'all still going live because I'm kind of disconnected since I've been out of YouTube for a minute. So y'all put y'all YouTube channels in the chat because I will subscribe and I will pop in. I'll be popping in. What's up, B Rock? How you doing? Oh my goodness. Listen, y'all, I got some things to talk about today. Okay. If you did not see the title, um, I got some things that I want to talk about. It's been a minute. I took a break for Easter because I did not want to be talking about no foolishness during Easter, y'all. So I took a break. Okay. And I'm back because I'm like, you know what? I'm ready to get back into it. So of course I got my top three. I got my top three for this week, y'all. So please guarantee that I will be going live, okay, at least once a week. I'm trying to do once a week. If I skip a week, it's because it's kind of like a holiday, etc. But remember, I will be dropping at least 3 gems a week, okay? Because I really want y'all to know how I feel about some of these popular topics that's out. And I don't want to like, what does this say? Not it got dysfunctional. I'm going to start. Okay. When I get out, start from scratch. Okay. Yeah. Um, listen, that whole manosphere thing blew up in people's faces. And I think that people like to go with the trends and do what's popular and talk about issues that are just trending at the moment because it does help you to a certain degree get your foot in the door. But as you can see, those topics got real toxic real quick. And now it's reversing on creators. Now creators who kind of put themselves in that atmosphere are in a lot of trouble and are losing subscribers and are kind of losing connection with people because people starting to realize like that space is not, it's not normal, right? It's and also it was brainwashing and manipulating people. And so people were starting to believe like all of those things that are being reported by manosphere spaces. They were throwing around data that wasn't, really true, kind of um using data to manipulate people. So it's time to get out of that space. Okay. I'm so happy that I disassociated myself with that space. I've been trying to disassociate myself with that space. For some reason, I let some losers kind of drag me back in it, but I've been trying to disassociate myself. My thing is like hot topics, giving my advice. Um, and even if I do talk about relationships, all those things, I will talk about it from a realistic standpoint and point of view from a person who's actually been in relationships, who's been in a healthy 7-year marriage, people, who really actually go through this and experience the ups and downs of it and understand like the struggles of it, not from this holistic, I mean, not from this other view or perspective that is based on ideologies that don't really add up or make sense. No, I'm not speaking from that perspective anymore. I used to always fight against that perspective, but it wasn't real well received back then. uh, because they were like, no, conform, do what we're asking you to do. So a lot of people know my history with Lapeef. Like when I was on Lapeef, I felt like um they were uh fighting against me giving a more realistic perspective on things. They wanted me to talk from those ideologies. And when I didn't, I got a lot of backlash. I got a lot of criticism. So it was really hard to be on that show and like listen to these unrealistic ideologies and still try to be sane. But I did it, y'all. But I did it. But it was hard. It was hard. I was like, I got to get up off this show because I can't continue to speak from that. But I always felt like I had a voice and I needed my voice to be heard. So, hence Tawana G. Tawana G is back in the fucking building. You went through a lot. Good to see you back in better spirits. Oh, yeah. I mean, wait a minute. So, let me tell you something, El Nix. I was not in no bad spirits. I just want to make that clear. Okay. I had my daughters. I was in such a happy, loving place. Um, I know I see you, Freezy. I was about to introduce you. I'm trying to answer something L Nick's question, but I was in such a I was in a good place in my life. Um and so it was weird because I would go online and it was so negative online. But in my real life, I'm happy, I'm flourishing, my life is going great. So I was like, what in the hell am I doing to myself? Like, why do I keep connecting with these people that got me in this bull crap? Like, let me just do what I need to do on my own channel. And y'all remember when me and Freezy used to go live, right? Well, Breezy is back in the motherfucking building, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it is crazy because Freezy got the No Cap YouTube channel. Y'all need to go follow Freezy. I gotta put his link. Freezy, put your link in the chat. Freezy is so funny and his show is so enlightening. And so every time I can, I log on. Sometimes Freezy be long, laugh too long. I can't stay on live for 3 hours, but I be trying to stay on live because it be so entertaining. But Freezy is coming on to weigh in on some of these topics I have, y'all. So I'm so excited to introduce him to my channel. I am so excited to have him back. It's gonna feel like home again. It's gonna feel like, we back in the building. So without further ado, I want to bring Freezy on the stage. Okay. Hey, Freezy. Let me blow you up because it was too little. I got to make sure everybody can see you. Freezy.
Wow. This is like nostalgic, you
This
know?
is this is deja vu, Freezy. I was just on Freezy's channel and it was so happened he was talking about narcissism and we did a show on narcissism a while ago. So it was like I was jumping right in there like, yeah, let's talk about it. Um Yes, Freezy is a solid guy.
Shout out to
I
L
know
Nix.
y'all follow Freezy on his channel. I'm just so happy, so excited that some of the old subscribers are coming back. I
Oh yeah.
finally reached 500 again because I had been off so long that my subscribers started leaving. So when
Really?
I first started, I was only at 410, something
Hmm.
like that. But this is my third episode. So third episode. I'm back at 500. So I'm excited about that. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna stay consistent. I'm gonna show y'all what I made of because y'all probably like this girl ain't coming live no more. Let me get off this channel. Okay. Tawana ain't gonna be live no more. How you doing, Blaze? Thank you
Praise.
so much. Thank you so much. Um, Freezy, I got some stuff to talk about today.
I see.
Freezy, it's supposed to blow your mind, Freezy. I'm telling you, some of the stuff that I want to talk about. But of course, some of the stuff is trending. We already know what it is. But let's talk about South Carolina because they won the NCAA today. I just have to mention that because it happened today, right before I came down here to go live.
You was watching
And I
March
saw the
Madness?
game.
I mean, you
What
was
you say?
watching the Final Four?
I did. I watched it today because only because my husband watched it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna act like I watch NCAA. I do not. Okay.
I haven't really been watching it. The most I know, especially for girls, what's that girl's name?
Angela Reese.
That's what I know about
Mhm,
women's
mhm.
basketball, you know.
'Cause she a mess, right? Because she been
Yeah.
not she a mess. Actually, I like Angela, and I know that she is kind of going to the NBA now. I mean, the
Mhm.
WNBA now. But today, South Carolina beat Iowa, which is a big deal because South Carolina has a black coach. This is the first time in history that, so they had a perfect record, 38-0. So it was crazy. And Angel, I'm sorry, I did say Angela. Her name Angel Reese. Thank you, V. Rock. I did say Angela. Look, you can tell me and Freezy like we don't know. We don't watch this shit. We don't know what's going on. The only reason I wanted to mention it is because it was a black coach.
Mm,
South Carolina had a perfect record. They didn't lose one game, and
really?
they beat the Iowa point guard, which Caitlin Clark, which she's like the number one WNBA draft pick. So everybody's been talking about her and she played a great game.
Oh, this is like an upset then.
It was an
Oh,
upset. So it was just, well, they did have a perfect record, but people still expected Iowa to win, which was
right.
crazy. Um, and I'm like, why would Iowa win when South Carolina was kicking tail all year? But I had to mention that before I get into this foolishness that's been happening in this dang crazy world of ours.
Well, shout out to South Carolina, and you said they made history. Was this their first championship?
So I don't want to misquote. I don't know. I think they were least likely. Like you said, they were the upset.
Yeah,
So people didn't expect. I think it's been some time. And that's
probably
unfortunate because
because
I
they
think
had a perfect season too.
right. They had a perfect season. And the coach, she was just like she was in tears. She was so emotional. And
Mm,
it was an exciting moment. Um, what did he say? Dawn Stanley. She's the South Carolina head coach. They've been on a stupid long streak. Yes. Yes. Can you let us know in the chat if this is South Carolina's first time winning the championship? Because I really don't know. I just know that uh it was said that this was kind of like the history, like something that went down in history. So I'm assuming that it's the first time in a long time that this happened. So shout out to them. I just want to shout out them because listen, that's something big. And I think that this brought a lot of attention to women's sports. So they were excited about that.
mm.
Hey Chaos, how are you? So let's get into this first topic, y'all.
Let's get it.
So I gotta talk to y'all about Rick Slayman. Have y'all heard of him? No, y'all haven't. Okay, let me pull him up. Neighborhood Talk reported that a black man received his first genetically edited pig kidney transplant. Okay. He's recovering well, so they say. Now, let me give you a little bit of background on this. Um, in Massachusetts General Hospital, it announced that it successfully transplanted a genetically modified pig kidney into a person. The first time someone has survived with an organ from another species. His name is Rick Slayman, He's recovering well from a 4-hour surgery that happened on March 16th. He was released from the hospital on April 3rd. Slayman is assistant manager for Massachusetts Department of Transportation. He agreed to the procedure according to his doctors and a personal statement released from the hospital because his medical options were limited and as a way to provide hope for thousands of other people who may need a transplant to survive. More than 100,000 people are on the national organ transplant list, though less than half of them get transplants each year. Even more in need of organs. Nevertheless, he became a good candidate for a transplant. So, how do you feel about a human getting? But here's the thing that bothers me. Why it gotta be a brother? Okay, now
to wanna
Blaze said, "What the hell?" I'm telling y'all got to read this article. And not only is he the first to get this pig kidney transplant, he's not the first to receive a genetically edited organ from an animal. Okay,
right.
they've also given heart transplants to two people who died several weeks after the transplant. So they're still trying to figure out how to get those hearts to work in humans. But yes, they are genetically modifying animals and putting those genetically modified organs in humans, and the reason that they're doing it that way is to ensure that there is no um illnesses or sickness or anything that comes with the animal. Like if they get an animal that came from another animal, I guess it could possibly have some defects that could cause issues with the human.
So they don't even know if he's gonna live, huh?
They don't know. They
Damn.
don't know. April 3rd is when he now, what's interesting is no one knows what his life expectancy was prior to this surgery. But again, he had some kidney issues. He was probably on dialysis, and those have a time frame, right? Until you get an actual kidney, you could be on dialysis for years. So I
What
just cannot believe that a human has a guinea pig kidney inside of him.
well, here's the thing, like, me, I don't eat swine, so I don't know how that would work with me and, inside my inside my system like that, I don't know, but, uh
Listen, you better be specific that you want a human only freebie because if a guinea pig is available, they might throw them in there. But the fact that they are experimenting with this black man, it is bothering me a little bit. Like he's on here praising the doctors. You really got to look at the USA Today article, you guys. Go back and read it. He's on there praising the doctors, taking all these cute pictures. Meanwhile, he has a kidney from a
what
pig.
so Tawana, let me ask you something, so they, what is that called when they put him under anesthesia. He didn't know he was getting a pig in test. I mean a pig. I said pig in test. I'm talking about chitlins. He didn't know he was getting a pig kidney. He didn't
Yeah,
know.
he absolutely knew. He agreed.
Oh, he agreed to that. Oh, okay.
Yes, he agreed to this. Um
Wow. That's wow, man.
Um, researchers have been studying this for decades, according to this article. But certain sugars that sit on the outside of a pig cell immediately alert the human immune system that the pig part doesn't belong. So in very early attempts of the cross species transplants in the middle of the I guess, of the surgery, the organs will turn black and almost immediately, and the immune system have rejected them. So in his case, the pig kidney immediately turned pink when the surgeon connected the human's blood vessels to it, and it also has produced urine.
What the hell?
Pig organ. Pig
Did
organs make
mm,
sense for transplants because they are roughly the right size for a human.
mm-mm.
And it's relatively similar in biology, and also you can breed billions of them, right?
See, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, the rejection is still a concern, so they're keeping an eye on him. But both with the pig organs and the organs transplanted from another um person, they said, hold on, they said they keep an eye on it regardless, even if it was a person. So they're trying to trivialize it a little bit, like, well, we would do these procedures regardless. So basically they consider this a success.
How long has he wait, okay, so he went he went under on March 3rd and he left the hospital at April, what did you say, April
March
16th?
16th, he went
March 16th.
under. Mhm.
Okay.
They monitored him and then released him April 3rd. It
April
sounds,
3rd.
yeah, so he was only in the hospital for what, a couple weeks, and then they
Yeah.
released
So
him.
it's only been a few weeks. That's it.
Why
We don't know if he gonna be dead by the end of this year. We don't know.
why
You
L
know?
Nick's talking about he gonna be eating slop and rolling in the mud. I mean, this is wild that this is legal, y'all. They are literally manufacturing pigs so that they can take the organs and put them in humans.
Gotta be careful what you sign up for, you
Listen,
know.
this is a wild, wild world we live in, y'all.
That's a
Y'all need
fact.
to be like y'all need to be aware of what's going on and what's happening in this world. And I just wanted y'all to know, like, this black man done put pig's organs in his body. He done
That
lost his damn mind.
yeah, yeah. I'm glad you said it because I wouldn't have did no shit like that, you know. Sometimes to wanna it's just time to go. Listen, if it's my time, it's just listen, that's
like
just a s
like
that's
I'm
just a
just going go on and be
I'm
with God.
going on to the Lord, man. That's just a sign that I don't need to be here right now. You know.
Like,
Uh
how desperate do you have to be to do a surgery like this?
listen, this is the thing. They know that they're playing on a person's vulnerability because quite naturally we want to live. We are, people don't
We
see
wanna
death.
live.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
want to live. And so for a lot of people, I can imagine if a pig kidney, I keep wanting to say pig and pig intestine. But if a pig kidney is going to, help me live a little longer, and experience life a little longer, hey, why not? But I think what you're saying is very important because there's a lot of extremities to this. You understand what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
You don't know what you're signing up for, right? And then you've already stated that a few people have signed up for this in the past and they didn't live that long. Now, this is the thing, right? I know it's gonna go into murky waters when dealing with people of certain religious backgrounds and all that kind of stuff, right? I don't know how it plays into it completely, but I do think it's a little strange that the first time they offered a pig organ was to a black man.
I
It was
do.
it was almost like they had a round table and said, we need a candidate. Who are we going to try this out on?
I just really there wasn't a lot of research on Rick Slayman. Um, but I'm curious as to what. Okay, so let's just talk about Rick, right? He had type 2 diabetes for 30 years. Okay.
Mhm.
So you've been living 30 years with type 2 diabetes. Okay. So why you got to get a kidney transplant? I don't understand, right? he was on dialysis for 7 years before he received this kidney.
Oh.
I think that he got a transplant from another victim,
Mm.
and it kept clotting and blocking his flow. So after 5 years, the organ began to fail. So that's why he decided to do this.
How old is he again?
How old is Slayman? Let me see if they even put his age, because
He
they
looked like he's in his 50s or something, like he's 50 something.
oh no, he had it for 30 years. He had 30 to 40 surgical radiological procedures to keep his veins open, but the dialysis still wasn't working. He became despondent, depressed. At one point, he said, "I just can't go on." I began to think about extraordinary measures. So that's when he began to consider Slayman as a candidate for the pig transplant. This is
Mm.
what they say. He was suicidal, I guess they're trying to say, allegedly. Two patients have received a genetically edited pig heart at the University of Maryland Medical Center. One survived for 2 months, and then the other for nearly 6 weeks. Williams and Slayman was in much better physical shape than both of the heart patients before the surgery, so they are expecting a better outcome.
You know how they say when somebody has sex, every time you have sex with a person, you get that person's DNA. You ever heard that before?
Yes, and I agree with that.
I
I
wonder
like
if they ever factor in when you get an organ from somebody else, tying that organ in with your organs or with your body, DNA can pass through. And let's just say, like, if
that.
you procreate after that, if you have children,
Mhm.
will that DNA reproduce? Now you have a pig organ. How does I wonder how that translate? That's crazy, you know?
I mean, my think so there has been stories of people who've gotten a heart transplant or even a kidney or any other organ, with them kind of taking on characteristics from that person
Mm,
that they received the organ from.
there you go.
There's been some speculation about that, right? Nothing proven, right? Nothing scientific or fact. But the person have had effects from it. So I will be watching Rick Slayman because I want to know, is he
Yeah.
gonna be doing exactly what El Nick said, eating slop and rolling in the damn mud? Okay, I want to see if he gonna start acting like a guinea pig and
Yeah.
start eating human and start eating off the floor. Like, I don't know what
Or
this.
if he has any more kids, they might come out onking or something. We
That's
don't
what
know.
I'm
Yeah.
saying. What listen, hopefully he done with the kids. He done got diabetes and
Oh,
all like, don't be having no damn guinea pig mixed children. I don't have time for that. Like,
hey, listen, I don't
oh
know. He
my
want to
God.
live. He want to live.
Like, you about to have me looking up his age because I can't understand for the life of me why this man then did this. I do understand that he was, but it doesn't say what his, like, if he was on his deathbed or if he was near. It doesn't say, you know.
Yeah.
It just says that he had type 2 diabetes, that he's had multiple surgeries, and that his first transplant failed. So he
Mm.
was able to get a human organ first, and that failed.
God was trying to tell him something. He should have listened.
But
You know.
here's the thing, now they're gonna be genetically modifying human organs. They're gonna be doing a lot of different things. From what I, read in an article, they've done these transplants on, cabezas. What is it? You know,
On what?
you what is it called? Corpses?
Oh, okay,
Trying
okay.
to say
Yeah.
they've done this on different,
I understand what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to say it on here because I don't know
Still
what they're gonna
still
shut me down.
bodies. Still bodies.
Yeah, so I'm like, I can't. I can't even do it. But I just want y'all to know. Go
This
read
sounds
that.
like some New World Order type stuff going on.
Cadavers. There you go. Cadavers. Thank you. B Rock, you own it today. Okay. Cadavers. That's what I'm trying to say. They've actually done this surgery on cadavers, but not like a human who's living. So
Okay, gotcha.
yeah, but like they said, it failed on both cadavers. So you would think that it would be illegal to do it on a human
Hmm.
that's living when it showed no sign
Right.
of of being successful. Like I just don't understand this. So
Hmm.
keep y'all read on it. I will be talking about Rick Slayman. I'm going to be following this story because I am curious as the outcome of what's going to happen to him. I'm going to be following him almost every week to see how he's living and what's going on. Yes, AJ Freezy's on deck today.
Shout out to AJ.
Freezy's on deck. Yes, so we'll be following this story, y'all. But I want to move on to the next gem because this one here.
Oh Lord. Lord Jesus.
Not Sexy Red and went to a high school smelling like marijuana. Then she went on X to complain that the school would not let her perform or speak to the children because she smelled like marijuana. And she was also upset because it's her hometown, St. Louis. And I guess she felt like they needed to overlook that. What you think about that, Freezy?
I think that stardom and fame will give a person a false sense of importance, right? And I think that's a big problem with black people. You know, we we're chasing the wrong type of attention. Well, in her eyes, she made it. She made it. She's at the top of the mountain, right? She's famous. She's rubbing shoulders with Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. She's going to the same parties. She feels like she's a part of the elite. And
Mm.
how dare you turn me away when I'm more important than you, right? That's how she feels, right? And I'm gonna just say this. I say this on my platform. The reason why Sexy Red feels like she's important, I blame this more on men.
Mm-hmm.
Men celebrate this type of woman, especially in this day and age. Men, um, a woman that dresses modest will get way less likes and follows than somebody like Sexy Red. And so when women like this of this caliber receives that type of validation, that amount of validation, you can't tell them nothing. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I mean, first of all, she just had a baby 2 seconds ago, right? And so she's out here shaking her ass, and I'm just first of all, I got a problem with the high school because what the hell do she need to be in a high school talking to kids for? I don't like. I understand that kids may listen to her. She's popular. I understand St. Louis is her hometown, but isn't it some adult classes or colleges that you can go visit, baby? High school children is not the right atmosphere for no damn Sexy Red. I just don't understand why she's going to high schools to visit. Like that, there the connection there is it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
And
to
then
want to go
yeah,
ahead,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. No, I mean, this is just, it's weird to me in general. I know that there was another high school teacher that took his kids to see Offset. So I guess it's a trend. Like these high school teachers are trying to be relatable and take the kids to go see, who's popping and who's happening nowadays. So I
Mm.
think that was the purpose here. But with her, I do feel like, why do they put people like this out there? Which brings me to my second point. I want to read this,
Mhm.
right? Um look, so let me just start from Red 25 before going off on the people who turned her away. That same month, the Pound Town rapper was spotted hanging with Drake backstage during his It's All a Blur tour, right? In New York. In a photo posted to Instagram story, Drake sat with the rapper and he had his arm and he kissed her on her cheek. It's been speculation that Drake is endorsing her because he has been paid to do so. So, my question is, why is Drake so heavily endorsing Sexy Red, right? Is it because he's paid to do so, or is he genuinely her friend? Like, what are your thoughts on that, Freezy?
I heard Joe Button insinuate this, and I think that she responded. She was alluding to the notion that they're just fond of each other, right?
Right, right. Like it was
Um,
a natural friendship. She responded and said they so dumb. Like
right, right.
like Joe was so dumb for saying that he's being paid to hang with her.
And I'm just gonna be honest with you, Tawana. I don't hold Drake at a high regard either. He's not too bright either, you know. He makes good music and I like his music, but I wouldn't be surprised if he just he's just sucking up. He's just sucking it up. At least he just wants to be around. She probably had sex with him. I don't know, but uh, but I will say this, right? And I
Yeah.
want to go back. I wanted to say something. I wanted to go back to the school situation. The bow had been broken a long time ago when it came to the school system. The water had been tainted a long time ago. When you got when you got issues as far as like uh people of the and listen, this is not a bash against the LGBT, but when you got men that dress up as drag and they're
Mhm.
allowed to go in the school system. When I seen that, Sexy Red is light work to me. You know, might as
Right.
well let Sexy Red in. You let everybody else in. But to be honest with you, I don't think Sexy Red is paying Drake. I think Drake is aligning himself with Sexy Red because let's just be honest, Sexy Red has made herself. This is what Joe Button needs to be honest about.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sexy Red has made herself a huge brand. Like
Mm,
like she's not a small fry anymore.
right.
Sexy Red is a very huge brand. Like she can sell out big venues now. So
Yeah.
we have to acknowledge that about Sexy Red, right? And so for Drake to, if you ask me, for Drake to attach themselves to Sexy Red, that's a smart marketing tactic because for one, Drake last album, he hasn't been the same Drake. Like his music is declining to me. It's not as good. The quality isn't as good as it used to be. So to
Mm.
me, it just makes sense for him to attach himself to the
Somebody that got clout,
yeah,
or like
right now.
somebody that can,
Exactly.
right, like somebody he can feed off of or get energy from,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Mhm. Because it seems like there's some strategic things that happen in the industry that I feel like is what I want to call attention to in this particular instance. Certain figures become popular, some certain figures are chosen, right? Because
Mhm.
we have the people who actually rap well and who have great music, right? And we
Yeah.
don't hear from those people, right? The industry don't choose to sign those people, and we never get they don't get the marketing behind them, right? They're independent artists that's kind of struggling to even make it. But we have people like her who you can see a lot of people from the black community. We adamantly reject this image of black women. We adamantly speak out against her music and her influence over black people. But for some reason, her following is 100% black, right? Like almost 90%. I won't say 100%. She does have some followers from other communities, but the majority of her music is supported by us. So, as much as we adamantly speak out about how we don't like this music and how we don't support people like this, we absolutely do, right? Because Big Sexy got her little necklace on that costs more than most of our houses, right? Like,
That's a fact.
there is definitely people who invest money and time. But my only issue with Drake is that someone like him can only add more to her influence because he does have a larger following. He has been doing this longer. So his endorsement of someone means a lot to the industry, right? So when I hear Joe Budden say, well, why is he doing this, right? What is it? I guarantee you he's getting paid. I wouldn't put it past him. And let me tell you why. Because I think he like Sexy. I think he does have a genuine connection with her. But I don't doubt that he getting a check. I don't doubt because the way he endorsed her, it is beyond like, oh, this is just my friend and I'm kicking it. Like it's got to be about money. And like you even said it, Freezy, his records, his albums, his music isn't doing the thing,
Right.
right? Because a lot of the music now it's not hitting like it used to hit. And you know that. So it's got to be something else that's going on. And that's why I do feel like Joe Budden's onto something when he insinuated that he's taking some paper. He's taking
Well,
something.
look at it this way. I'm not saying he's not getting some type of residual for his appearances, right? That's just business. You understand what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is, even with the money that he might be getting paid, he don't even need it. He's rich. He's like worth like
Right.
uh I don't know, at least $100 million or something like
Yeah.
that.
He don't have to be like he has enough money, right? He's the
Yeah,
same person on Miami Beach giving away money, right? He
yeah.
has money and he's at his concerts giving away money. But but it's something about this relationship that seems a little bit
It's
orchestrated.
Illuminati. Let's just go
Yeah.
ahead and say it. Listen. Sexy Red. They go out and get the worst of us and promote them, put them in front of the stage, right?
Mhm, mhm,
And I believe this is just my opinion. This is hearsay. This is not fact, but I just believe from my research that the powers that be and the people that's in control of all of these music outlets and stuff. I believe that Sexy Red had to she had to go through some type of evil agreement, just like Drake did, and they're all affiliated with one another behind closed doors. And
right.
you have to, when these people give you an assignment, you have to fulfill it. And um, I think that big money and big connections and brands are behind Sexy Red on purpose. They're purposely putting Sexy Red out there, and a lot
Yeah,
of people don't believe in this systemic type of racism that these companies practice. They don't believe in it, but I do. Okay, I do believe in that. I believe that
yeah,
uh, people like Sexy Red are strategically put in place to influence younger potential uh, great black people that could arise if they didn't listen to somebody like Sexy Red or Future or Young Thug. You understand what I'm saying? So I do believe that these people are strategically put in place. I listen to this girl music. I tried to listen to this. It don't make no
which
sense.
song did you listen to? Was it Pound Town or did you listen
I
to
I listened to Pound Town. The latest song is, I don't even want to say it on your channel because it might get shut down. It's just so nasty. But
is it
there's
the
no
is it
cleverness in her music.
the P is pink, the B is brown?
Yeah, booty hole brown. Yeah, no. I'm just there is no type of wittiness to her music. It's straight nasty, gutter, senseless. Kid, it should be against the law for kids to listen to it. And I seen the footage when she pulled up to the school, right? And
Yes,
the kids were singing her songs or rapping her songs verbatim, and it
they
was
were.
so cringe.
It was like, well, you saw the daycare, or was it a mom or was it a daycare where she playing Sexy Red and the kids are like, Pound Town.
That's wow.
First of all, the babies look like they had to be 2 to 4, 2 to 5 ish age group. And it's one little girl, she I mean, she know the rap, she's singing it, she going, and it went viral because people are like, is is she serious? Like, she's sitting there playing Pound Town for her kids. Like,
I thought I,
it was wild.
what if I don't expose my child to music like that? So if my child goes to school, so the school has full autonomy to expose my kid to an environment like that or music like that.
And what's crazy is she said she was public speaking.
What
What
the
the hell is
hell?
that? What the hell is Sexy Red going public speak? I'm just curious as to what the hell is she about to talk about. Okay, I have
Tawana, we
heard her
done.
interviews.
Tawana, we done. It's over with. Okay, we
I'm
destroyed.
like, so Sexy Red, this one here is going public speak. Like, I don't want. What is she talking about? What do we need to hear from her,
And
baby?
yeah, we don't need to hear nothing from her. I'm pretty sure in Chicago she would be considered in Florida we call them dirty foots. I don't know what they call them in Chicago. But
Oh, look, hood rat, scallywag,
yeah,
all
exactly.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She definitely
Oh,
would be
wait.
called
When
hood rat.
since when did scalawags?
Go away.
No, what I'm saying, like back when we were younger, the rappers, I mean, at least the singers and the rappers had some class.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm,
like the bottom of the bottom
mhm.
got importance now and some type of authority. Like when the, I would have never imagined scallywags would have uh would be able to demand, their appearance at a damn elementary school.
I mean, here's what I think. There's something happening in the entertainment industry, right?
Mhm.
Where these are the images that they are pushing on Black women. These are the images that they are promoting as a representation of us, right?
Yeah,
And even though Cardi B is not Black, she is in Black spaces, right? So Cardi B, this is the image. This is
yeah.
the,
She made
you know,
black music.
the Young Miami, JT, all of those women, Glorilla. Even though a lot of people like Glow, it's still an image that's being promoted.
Right.
It's still an image. It's not like, sophisticated rap, right? It's not
Mhm.
like a Lauryn Hill, right? We ain't got no Lauryn Hills out here that's rapping. We don't have those storytellers, those real MCs. We don't
Yeah,
have
MC
those,
Light. I used to love MC Light.
MC like Queen Latifah. We don't have those kind of people. And even if you think about like Foxy Brown and Lil Kim, even though Lil Kim was a little explicit, it's just a different type of rap. There is no Missy Elliott. You know what I'm saying? There is
Right.
no rap like that no more. So it's all based on what they feel these youth want to see, right? They want to see the BBLs, the overly sexualized women who, are out here, making money and stealing from dudes, right? Like that is what this music is talking about. I just don't. I don't understand why Sexy Red felt entitled to perform at a high school.
But the more important question is why how could a high school sanction that?
Right. Like, what what's state IQ? I would love to see them test scores. I bet you them kids not reading above a 6th grade level. Like, you sitting in there trying to get somebody in high school that is she's smelling like weed, so she was probably getting high right before she came to the school, which is
Mhm.
insane. Or maybe the people in her tour bus was getting high and she just, got caught in that. But what exactly do you guys want to hear from her that's going to influence your children? What do you want, like, what could she do that's productive for the kids that are in high school? I just don't get it. And so I was actually shocked because she went on a whole rant about how they should have let her perform and why they was wrong and wasn't nobody coming to see them. They all was there to see her. The kids, so she waited outside. And then the
Mhm.
kids then left school. to see her perform. She stayed outside just so she could shake her tail and twerk for the kids. These are babies that probably 14, as young as 14, right? As old as 18, but as young as 14 years old. Because when
Wow.
Sexy Red came to my kids' school and they let my son see Sexy Red without telling me, and I saw a video of her twerking on my son,
I wonder if that's
baby,
grounds for litigation. Uh,
baby, it would be hell to pay. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't come to Chicago doing no like that, baby. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, that's gonna be a problem for me.
well, I think my views is when it comes down to school system, um, the medical field, there needs to be a degree of conservatism maintained in the workplace, right? Like I know in some areas, people should have the right to express themselves. I get it. I understand. There should be a degree of liberalism as well.
Yeah,
I don't call myself a Republican. I don't call myself a Democrat. I just if I do vote, I pay attention to policies, whatever policies benefit us the most, right? That's what I pay attention to. But I just feel like there needs to be a line that's drawn, especially at a school district where kids are sent there to learn,
yeah,
right? They're sent there to be a more productive to train to be a more productive person in society. I don't think that Sexy Red exemplifies being a productive person in in society. That was just a bad example all around. I'm curious to know who's the principal, who's or whoever actually stamped disapproval or whatever. And if I was to take an educated guess, I would think that the principal is probably a more on the liberal side. Like here, we teach our kids they should be able to express themselves however they want. We don't limit any type of representation coming here. This is what I was talking about, and we're coming into very dangerous times, right? And so a lot of people will okay a decision like that until it affects their household,
that's right.
right? That's when they actually see the residual effects when it affects your household. But until then, it's like Sexy Red should have the right to go to that high school and blah blah blah. But I don't know. I digress.
Until your daughter start doing Pound
That's
Town
a fact.
and stripping in a strip club and doing all the crazy stuff because she
Right.
listening to these
And
lyrics
I
that
seen that clip. Was most
feel
of those kids black that was out there singing?
I think so. I think it was definitely a predominantly Black high
That's
school.
crazy.
Absolutely. Mhm. Because I mean, her PR person, right, signed her up to
Yeah.
appear at this high school, right?
Mhm.
And I'm curious whether this high school paid her or not, or was this kind of a like she just promotion of her tour or album or whatever she got going on. Because
Right.
I'm like, if the school paid federal money for this, right, or city dollars for this, because most times they're locally funded and also they have federal grants, right? This is like questionable. Like that better have come out of some donation box of that they got from their PTA, which is even worse because that's supposed to be used for other things too. But I hope they're not using city funds and federal funds to pay for Sexy Red to come to the school to visit. Because that even opens up another can of worms. And you
Yeah.
made a good point. Like it just seems to me that there is something being orchestrated, right? And then people like to follow trends. Remember, it was cool to sexualize women in the 90s, right? But
Yeah.
what's happening now? We're seeing the impact of that sexualization of women coming to fruition, and it's not looking pretty for people like Diddy, right? Who is the next topic. But remember, it was cool to that hip hop life, popping pills, drinking champagne, having all these beautiful women around you. And now all of a sudden you see the downfall of that, right? These young, beautiful women. So people need to stop following these trends. People need to like get a grip on let me get my morality in check my values and what I believe in, and let me always stick with that, and let me not go along with just so I can be famous, because
That
that's
that's
what a
that's
lot of
why that's why I opened up with when I started talking, and this is why a lot of men in these spaces don't agree. You know, they feel like I don't know. I don't hate to use the word simp. It's just so played out, but like they just feel like I'm not speaking to the beat of their drum when I say ultimately it was men's fault. We
mm,
were exploiting women, and this is like you just said, this is the product of all of that, you know, B's and H's and stuff in the 90s and all that kind of stuff. And we single-handedly told women this what we want.
mm,
This is
mm,
what we want. Sexy Red is she all she is a product of what we
of what
spewed out in the
became
90s.
famous, exactly.
Yeah. And real men have to just stand up and say stuff like that. It's so easy to it's so easy to say, man, these women ain't shit nowadays. Look at Sexy Red. No, no, we did. We that's what you liked it. Remember? You liked it that.
That's what
Yeah,
they wanted.
yeah.
They they wanted the big booty twerking and because that was even back in the 90s, okay? You
Yeah.
dropping it like it's hot,
And I
tip
live in
drill.
Florida, so you
Come
know I
on,
know.
tip drill. Since we talking about St. Louis, let's talk about it must be her because it ain't her face. I need a tip drill. You know what it was.
And listen, and we, you
They
know,
was letting you know they don't even care if you ugly. Long as you got a BBL.
listen, and I'm talking about in Florida, Luke you know, that was way back in the early 80s they was doing
That's
it
right.
like that in Florida. So it's, you know.
That's what I'm saying. And so, yeah, Sexy Red is problematic, but so are these what are we machines that push her and these machines that back her up and these marketing and the execs who said, "Yeah, let's put her out because Pound Town is a killer. That's a number one hit." So, come on now. Oh, wait. Oh my goodness. Who is Hey, you know what? Somebody take a screenshot of that comment for me so I can make sure that I take a
You
screenshot.
you didn't say nothing about nobody kids, did you?
I sure didn't. You know how some people are weird. But what we gonna do is we gonna take some screenshots of those comments though. Cause when I get threatened, I just gone on to the legals. That's what I do. Thank you.
Mm.
Yes. So, but anyway, I mean, you see how that was weird because
I plead the blood of Jesus.
oh Lord, you see, like, listen, these motherfuckers are weird out here in these streets. But yeah, all right, let's go. Let's go.
P Diddy, no Diddy.
Oh Lord, P Diddy. So I talked about P Diddy the last time I went live. Yeah, I don't know what that was, y'all. Please ignore that. Okay. I have no idea. Like, one thing about me, I have been very clear not to talk about anybody from those paths. I have not mentioned those people. I don't
Mm.
associate with those people. And him, I 100% don't associate with him at all. So I have no idea what he's talking about. He just like wants attention, you know. So y'all need to like, yeah, like ignore. But
Mm.
anyway, all righty. Sean Diddy Combs. Okay, let me just talk about. So the last time I spoke about Sean Diddy, I was really just talking about the lawsuit that Little Rod put out, right? That was a 63-page lawsuit. Now, since then, he's been raided by Homeland Security. Okay. Now, recently, his son, Christian Combs, has been named in a 31-page lawsuit. Found it was filed in Los Angeles, and it's a little sketchy, but let's talk about the lawsuit. Tyrone Blackburn is representing this new lawsuit against Kristen Combs, and I guess he's also representing Rodney Diggs, who is the first person that made these accusations against Diddy. The lawsuit alleges that Kristen insisted that the plaintiff, and her name is Grace, take a shot of tequila that he poured for her while she was working on the yacht as a steward. The lawyers also claim that the woman says that soon after um, her mood changed and the things became sinister.
Mm.
The attorney reported to have a history of representing several plaintiffs who have filed civil actions against high profile celebrities, including Sean Combs, Nicki Minaj, T.I. and Tiny, and Tiffany Haddish. Remember, all of those other lawsuits have been either dismissed or found to be erroneous, right?
Mhm.
And a judge recently referred Blackburn to the New York Grievance Committee to review his recent filings, accusing him of improperly filing federal court to garner media attention, embarrass defendants with salacious allegations, and pressure defendants to settle quickly. Blackburn responded to Judge Denise Coates' filing in an email. So, the reason I read that is because all of these things are coming out now, right? So we have all these lawsuits. And mind you, Diddy has engaged in some problematic behavior, so I am in no way defending him.
Mhm.
But now that this Tyrone Blackburn is involved, I don't know if his motives are specifically to get justice for these victims, right? Or is he really just using this as an opportunity to get a payday? Because now everyone saw how quickly he settled with Kathy. And so you see all these lawsuits kind of spiraling out of control now. And now the allegations get more sinister and more egregious as we hear. So it's crazy the things that are being alleged about Diddy. But now his son, Christian Combs, has been brought into these lawsuits. Now, according to Kristen Combs' lawsuit, he was on a yacht and one of the workers was, I guess, adamantly against doing whatever. And he was kind of pressuring and almost, suggesting that she had no choice but to participate in said activities while she was on the yacht. So I'm just, going through all these lawsuits, then I see that some things have just kind of not aged well, I will say.
Mhm.
In a sense of just hearing some of the things that has been said. Some time ago, Young Miami, when she was dealing with Diddy, they had their little fling or whatever you want to call it. Diddy didn't call it a relationship, but Young Miami was apparently convinced that it was a relationship. She was on Jason Lee's show, and apparently she called herself a whore. And she said a whore with a W, which I don't know what other way you spell whore, but she alluded to being a whore. And Jason said, "Well, can you define that? Like, what do you mean by that?" And she said, what's said don't need to be explained. So she never defined it. But
Mm.
we all understand a whore to mean a prostitute, right?
Right.
So it means that you are getting paid for sexual services, right?
Right.
So 50 Cent decided to post
Oh, I ain't seen this.
he
God damn.
posted a video of Young Miami. So if you go to 50 Cent's page, you'll see the video. I did not post the video because I didn't want any copyright claims and I didn't know, Hollywood Unlocked, Jason Lee. So he posted the clip of Young Miami saying, I'm a whore. So Young Miami then responds to his um to his post, right? So she says, I think this has gotten taken out of context. It's a gay slur. What's up, whore? Is something my gay cousin always said to me. It's cunt. It's a slang that we said to each other. That's what I was trying to explain to Jason because he's gay and he got what I was trying to say. I'm not a prostitute. I never sold, and she put a cat emoji, a day in my life. And I hate how this is getting spun. And 50 says, I like at Young Miami. I don't want to hurt her or her feelings. I just want to put her in BMF if she cool. I think they was in a relationship, but them other women, LSW vibes. And
What's LSW mean?
I have no idea. I was gonna ask you, like, what does LSW mean?
Oh.
So, as you can see, Young Miami denies it. But my little messy tail went back to Young Miami post when she first said this 10 weeks ago, right? And so one of her followers said, that's something to be proud of. Well, okay, then. Young Miami says, yes, and now you doubling down on the whore comment.
Yeah, you
Like
dumbing
you
it.
want to tell 50 that you not a prostitute and that's not what you meant. So I'm
I'm pretty
just
sure I'm pretty sure the S in the SW and LSW means sex workers, something sex worker.
the little sex worker. Remember
Yeah,
he said that? The little sex workers? I forgot he said that. That's
yeah.
how he described his child's mother. As
Mm.
the little sex worker, you little sex worker, you. He's so silly. But the thing with Young Miami and Kristen Combs
Mm.
and all these celebrities that are being thrown into this lawsuit, right? Cuba
Mm.
Gooding Jr., Meek Mill, all of these people are being mentioned and named, being associated with Diddy. This has spiraled into something that is like it's literally getting out of hand, right? Because now Young Miami said something 10 weeks ago and didn't even think that this would materialize or kind of come back to bite her. Now that you're being named as a sex worker in Little Rod's 63-page case lawsuit, now you're coming out and saying, "Oh, I've never done that before." But back then, you doubled down on the fact that you were a whore. So which one are we to believe now? You know? And so it's like now all of these celebrities that are associated with Diddy are kind of backtracking and starting to kind of disassociate. It's kind of too late, if you ask me. What do
Yeah.
you think about this whole thing that's coming out now?
Well, they have sex work connotations all in their music, the city girls do, So I think it's kind of a,
It's
a
odd that she's trying to deny it now. It's like, girl, eh, eh,
it's a day
I can
late.
just quote you the first couple lines of real give up about it. Come on,
Exactly.
girl.
Exactly.
That's the whole
Exactly.
premise of the damn song.
Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you, like, obviously, this is a plot to elude all of the trouble that Diddy has found himself in. They don't want to be associated with it.
Yeah,
I do believe all of the allegations that she was down with whatever Diddy was down with. She was showing everybody she was down with Diddy. She was holding up signs at award shows.
right.
She was showing up at giving away, I don't know, was it food or
What was she
backpacks?
saying? Poppy, Poppy,
Yes,
Poppy.
yes, yes. And to add insult to injury, he was doubling down and telling everybody in news in different outlets that, listen, we're not a couple. We're not,
Yeah,
you know, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend, or however you want to coin it. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that. I think she's just trying to avoid all of the association that's going on with Diddy right now. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, like, I don't know. People are saying that the feds hadn't found any evidence yet.
right.
You know what? When I went to thinking about it, Tawana, I don't know. Like when they raided his house, a lot of times they're not going to disclose what they found when they're building a case. I don't know if they found anything or not.
So that's come up, right?
Mhm.
Did they even find? Because I think as of right now, we don't know anything legitimate that they found. I know that they confiscated a lot of like electronics and video footage. Apparently, the video footage is so much video footage that it's going to take them a very long time to get through it.
Mhm.
Um, it seems like they were looking for some specific things when they raided these homes because or they had some intel, they had some kind of insight as to what was going on in the homes, because they looked for specific things and they knew where hidden, like compartments was and stuff like that. So I'm just curious what, if anything, is going to come of this, right? Like,
Have you heard of the
because
story? You heard of the story surrounding him and the white girl that he supposedly adopted? Did you hear about that?
So, tell me about, because I briefly read that. I was like, "What? I never seen this white girl though." Like, have you seen her?
Okay, so if you go on TikTok or even probably YouTube as well,
Yeah.
if you just do a quick search and put Diddy and adopted white girl, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
He's showing her introducing herself to the public. He's before she comes to the camera, Justin came to the camera, Christian came to the Quincy came to the camera, and I think Diddy has some black daughters too. I think he got twins or something.
Yeah, he
Uh,
do. Yeah.
yeah, so the white girl came, and then and she was the next to the last one, and then the one of his daughters came, one of his biological daughters came, but it was so cringe. If you look at the video, the way she was introducing herself, nobody never knew about this girl, but he supposedly picked this girl up off the street, right? And there's so many inconsistencies in
Oh
her
my god.
story, right? And it was almost like she was being coached. And so first Diddy was saying he found her on the streets. And then he said that he got permission before y'all jump to conclusions because it seemed like he thought about how crazy it was looking. He said, before y'all even jump to conclusions, I did get permissions from her parents to adopt her. But he didn't. But first he said he found her on the street. And so this young white girl has been in question, in conjunction with the trafficking allegations and
Oh.
all of that kind of stuff.
Do people know where she is now? I see her
No,
name. Her name is Ava Barani.
yes.
No one knows where this girl is now. So she
Well,
appeared with Diddy in 2020, and that's it.
and I think the footage that's surfacing right now is older footage back then, right? But nobody knows where she is now. And so people are saying that the trafficking has somewhat to do with that too, you know. And he
I
and
mean,
Diddy,
because
yeah,
just because the parents agree doesn't mean that it's not trafficking. Like, do you know how many parents do, like, sell their daughters into sex trafficking? I mean, it
right.
happens so much. It really is sick. And especially in those countries where, poverty is at its highest, like, people go there just to do things like that, to bring, underage girls over to the United States that, promises to the families that, they're gonna, help them out and financially take care of them and get them to sign documents, and treat the kids like that. So yeah, I listen, if there is evidence of this found and Diddy is charged with anything, I honestly don't know. Like, what I do know about Homeland Security is that typically they have enough evidence, and they don't come out unless they are pretty sure that this is, something that is substantial and is going to lead to a conviction. Where his case was filed in New York, they have a 98% conviction rate.
Really?
So it's going to be very slim that he will scathe this with no
I
actual
think
charge.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. If I was to use my spidey senses and all my context clues, I think he's guilty. And
Yeah.
have you ever seen the documentary on Hugh Hefner at any point in time?
I didn't I actually was going to watch that because I saw it on Peacock the other day. I was like, "Ooh, let me watch this." I got it
Right.
saved. But
And
no, I did not watch that. I
you know
know
what they call P. Diddy, right? They used to, one of his nicknames. The
Hugh
Black Hugh Hefner,
the
right?
Black Hugh.
If you watch that documentary on Hugh Hefner, his sex addiction had gotten so bad where um he was targeting underage girls and having
Mhm,
sex with them,
mhm,
and in return he would reward them with um uh, uh, appearances in his magazine, right?
mhm.
And he was having so much sex with these women, it started to not satisfy him, and he started mixing the women and the men together, and he started having wild orgies with men and women together. And
So
then
Hugh
that
was doing some very similar things as a Diddy was being alleged
exactly,
to have done.
exactly. And so what Diddy is calling freak offs, the freak off part, Hugh Hefner been doing that. And so, but this is how wild Hugh Hefner got. Even that started getting old, and he started incorporating dogs into, the bedroom. He started
Oh,
having
not
sex.
bestiality. Oh, yeah, I
Yes.
gotta watch this because I didn't know. I knew that Hugh Hefner was problematic, don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but did I know that he was engaged in bestiality and doing all this crazy stuff? No, I didn't know that, but just the fact that Hugh Hefner had those girls in there, they was young, they were 16, they were 15, they were vulnerable, living in his mansion. He's got all
Yeah.
these girls up in there. He's taking advantage of them, marrying those girls when they turned 18 and 19. I already knew he had been grooming them since they were
But this is what we don't talk about. When
right.
you have access to sex, like a plethora of women, and you can just bone damn near any woman in your surrounding area, whatever, because of your notoriety,
Right.
it could become problematic
Yeah,
mentally. Sex has a lot to do with your psyche and your mental state, And once
exactly.
because you need mental it has a lot to do with mental stimulation. And so once you keep doing the same thing in abundance over and over again, you get used to it, and then it's almost like a drug. To me, sex is like a drug. Once you get that same high over and over again, you want to try something different. And
Yeah,
so these allegations that's against P. Diddy, I don't think they're too far fetched because he's just a real he he's a real freaky dude. And Exhibit, I don't know if you've seen that interview with Exhibit on the radio station. He called out Diddy a long time ago. And the lady, I forgot her name, Corinne Steffens, she pulled Exhibit to the side and said, you know, this dude is strange, you know what I'm saying? And
he did
uh
not want Corinne to reveal what
yes,
she had
exactly.
done to him, right?
Yeah.
And Exhibit was basically like, yeah, he came and said some weird stuff to him like, "Man, you better be careful with her." Like,
Yeah, and also all the arrows are pointing to P. Diddy being a pervert. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So
Well,
I'm not gonna defend this dude. So
speaking of his association with rappers, he's been tied to Ja Rule, right? There's
yeah.
been sayings that him and Ja Rule, allegedly ran out of a restroom together, both had towels on and was apparently naked. French Montana has been
Wait, who
said
was naked? Who is that?
Ja Rule and P. Diddy were in a room together, apparently with towels on and naked.
I believe that because they've been said that by Ja
Yeah, this
Rule
was
too.
allegedly that him and Ja Rule had something going on.
Yeah.
French Montana has also been said to
No,
be
for
engaged.
real?
Yes, him and French Montana have apparently he met French and there's been some some kind of inappropriate stuff going on with him and
I
French.
thought these was gangsters.
Listen, French has been tied to his freak offs and have been tied to some very wild behavior with Diddy.
Wow.
They also said, of course, allegedly, you're right. Let me put my allegedly up, okay?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, you guys. Allegedly, Meek Mill, there's a video of Diddy calling Meek Mill daddy in several
Yes, I seen that.
several times. Daddy, tell him, daddy, tell him how you feel, daddy. Which me, you know, Diddy likes to call men daddy. I think he likes to make men uncomfortable in a sense, because a lot of men do not like that. There is a viral video going around where Mike Tyson is moving P Diddy's hand away from him, like
Really?
like, and then he scoot up and move away from P. Diddy. Like, they were on they were on a game show together. They were on a not a game show, a talk show.
Yeah.
And Mike Tyson took Diddy's hand and moved it away from him and then scooted over.
Wow.
Like scooted over. Like, I'm not associated with you. Um so you said exhibit, but Method Man also claimed that Diddy tried to groom him or bring him into these freak offs and weird parties. And Method Man said he was like, no, man, like I don't want no parts of that. Um, and then Mark Curry also allegedly accused Diddy of spiking the bottles of champagne and liquor. So when they would be in the clubs, he would tell them, "Don't drink from those bottles. Drink from those. These bottles are for the ladies, right? Because we're gonna they got a little something extra in them." And he said that when the women would drink the bottles, they would just go wild and engage in all this problematic behavior. So I'm just saying, where smoke is fire. Like, don't get me wrong, but what I think about Tyrone Blackburn being involved in this, it could actually ruin some of the statements that have come out, because now Tyrone, he's been tied to just kind of having all these frivolous claims against
Right.
all these celebrities that absolutely went nowhere. And he could ruin the integrity, right, of this case
Yeah, he need
by
to get his ass
doing
out the
this.
way.
Yeah, and so everybody's like, "Who is this Tyrone Blackburn?" So I mean, he is like putting out the most like most insane allegations against Diddy, and I don't know how much of it he can prove, but there is apparently a audio of this interaction with Kristen Combs and the steward. Her name is Grace, that was on the yacht, and apparently Little Rod was taping it in error. Like, he wasn't trying to tape it. He had a studio on the yacht, and he just so happened to have footage of the interaction between him and the steward. And apparently the steward is telling him, "Don't touch me. Stop. I don't want to do this." Like, she's adamantly saying these things, and you can hear someone, whether that's Christian Combs, whether that's someone else, I don't know, saying like, "No, I want you down here.
So
I
there's
want you to
footage
come
of
here."
this because I remember reading it somewhere,
It's
but
audio, it's not video.
okay,
Um,
okay.
but apparently the audio came from Little Rod. He was there with a makeshift studio, I guess, on the yacht, and he heard a lot of the interaction. So Little Rod, he's out for vengeance. He wouldn't found this steward so she could file her lawsuit too, so she could jump on the bed. Little Rod said, "Listen, I'm gonna get my little 50K." Why didn't Diddy just pay that man his 50K?
That's
Okay.
right.
I just don't understand, why did Diddy do that?
Because I think uh they feel like if they keep giving in to these lawsuits, it's like an admission of guilt,
Right,
you
right.
know. So
I think that Diddy is definitely in hot waters if he thinks that this Homeland Security is gonna go away easily. He is sadly mistaken. And
Right.
I can see that he's been kind of trying to combat all the negative press he's gotten, and he's just been out kind of enjoying life and acting like this ain't bothering
I
him.
ain't
And
never seen him with his kids like
me
this
neither,
this much.
me neither. Now he with his daughters taking them to Top
Yeah.
Golf, and he just hanging out with everybody. Like, come on, man. Like,
It's
so
funny.
I know that Quincy, what is it? Quincy's, I can't think of his
I'll
name.
be sure.
I'll be sure son, Quincy,
Yeah.
right? He has, had a kind of strained relationship with I'll be sure. But I'll be sure recently came out and said that I'm going to tell everyone the real reason why I've been in a coma. Right? And he alluded to the fact that maybe allegedly Diddy had something to do with this whole thing. And so everybody is coming out with all these claims against
He
Diddy.
also said, I tried to tell y'all about Kim Porter, y'all didn't want to believe me. He
Yeah,
said that.
he did. He said
Yeah.
that. So I
I'm
know
gonna get his book. You gonna get his book?
I thought it was a movie coming out.
Oh, it's a movie.
Supposedly, it's some kind of deal he has with Netflix, so that's why people were like, "Is he trying to promote his movie, or did this stuff really happen?"
Oh, I thought it was a
So,
book. My bad.
he said it was a documentary that was coming
Right,
out
that's right.
on
That's right.
Netflix. So, I'm waiting on this documentary to come on out. He say it's in the making. He say it's in the making. I mean, I know that when they put the documentary out, they're gonna have to use facts and
Right.
information. But apparently, there's a lot of people claiming that he was connected to violent encounters that they had. I think Cassie kind of alluded to him blowing someone's car up, and then people were able to trace it back to years when it happened and connect that Diddy may have had something to do with that. So apparently, Cassie has some information, and according to the reports, she is complying with Homeland Security, and
Listen,
she is
Cassie, I
cooperating.
think Cassie is one of the main ones that opened up the floodgates, right? Because her deposition was so damaging. He had to come out and give that money. Like he didn't waste no time with Cassie. And the
Yeah,
car that he supposedly blowed up
yeah,
was Kid Cudi's car. And
right.
yeah, it was in their driveway. She was apparently dating Kid Cudi after the break she had with P. Diddy. And what was also damaging, Kid Cudi, he solidified it. He said, "Yeah, yeah, my car
Yeah,
blew up, and it was Diddy."
he said it was Diddy. He
Yep.
made it very clear that it was Diddy. I was
Yep.
like, "Wow." I mean,
Yeah. Think
this
about it
is
though. He
crazy.
Diddy is connected to what's the guy's name? Clive Davis. Clive Davis is Italian. You know, he's a small head Italian type dude. And
Right.
and 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 then I forgot the other woman. She's been talking about Diddy. Jaguar Wright. Remember Jaguar
Right.
Wright? Yeah.
Yeah, Jaguar Wright. I'd be
Yeah.
like, I don't know, some of the
She
stuff
said
she
he
say is
performed.
wild.
She said P Diddy been had to perform fellatio on Clive Davis. That was how he got his Bad Boy deal.
That's
And
right. That's what she
he
said.
also did it to Andre Harrell when he got hired for what was it, Uptown Records. And yeah, so P Diddy has been he's been what is it called when you're, I forgot the word, but
I mean,
exploited.
he's been
P
exploited, so then he exploiting others. It's
Yes.
kind of he's passing down the abuse instead of
Yes, but isn't that how
taking it
abuse
himself.
works?
That's how it works. Mhm.
Right? Because look at R. Kelly when he said when it came out about his sister and all that kind of stuff. That's how abuse works. And so you mentioned something earlier as far as him calling men daddy and all that. I mean, well, no, men calling him daddy, right? Or he called men's daddy
No,
too.
he
Well,
be calling them daddy.
yeah, he be calling them daddy, right?
He likes to call
Yeah,
me and daddy. He
yeah.
told he called he was on Drink Champs, and he called him a daddy.
And they were trying to act like they ain't know what he was talking about. You know what he talking about.
They was like, it was so awkward. I guess they was trying to like let it go. He was like, "Yeah, daddy, I like when you do that to me, daddy." I turned it off because I was like, I don't want to hear no grown man calling him no daddy. That is disgusting.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah.
Diddy always be doing weird stuff. That's why when 50 said he offered to take him shopping,
50 was like, nigga.
50's like, what did he just say? But then Diddy went on Breakfast Club and admitted that he offered to take Diddy shopping. To
Right.
take 50 shopping, talking about I just think he needed some new clothes. Nah, that Diddy, that's weird. Why are you taking another man shopping for any reason? Like,
Right.
why are you
Right.
trying to normalize that? Like,
Yeah.
it was cool to offer to take some man shopping. I just think that there is some weirdness going on in the industry, right? The fact that we kind of fund these machines that sexually exploit people, abuse people, put people in vulnerable situations.
Mhm.
And it seems like we give a lot of money and power to certain people and we don't understand how it's orchestrated. So that's why I brought up Sexy Red and now
Right.
Diddy, because now you have to be careful about who they're pushing on us as these new stars, because Diddy was pushed on us, right? A lot of us hate Diddy, but he was pushed on us, like making the band exposed exactly who Diddy was to me. I was like, this man is a maniac. The
Mhm.
way he treated like the staff, and not even just like the people who were on the show, but the
Yeah.
staff. He was throwing stuff. He really showed a side that was insane, but we kept supporting it, right?
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
And
We did. We did. But
I mean,
he Diddy is attached to a couple of iconic rappers which gives him a little validity in the entertainment business, like Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls is arguably, well, a lot of people say he's arguably the best rapper ever, and and I don't know, or the most pop. I don't know what they say about Biggie, but yeah. So he's attached himself. Uh, he is attached to a lot of acclaimed artists, right? That
yeah,
gives him validity,
right.
So
And I think that it brings that larger conversation of making sure that, because I think we unknowingly supported these people in the 90s because we just thought, okay, they were stars, they made it. We didn't see the rituals and all the satanic stuff that happening on the back end. Like, we don't know that they sucking peen and
right,
getting popped in the pussy, okay, in
yeah,
order to become famous. We don't know that they are doing these things. We thinking, we naively looking at it like these people are just becoming famous. Now we're hearing the backstories as to why these people become famous. And
mm,
now we know how executives play a part in this. We know how, even though we don't see those execs, right? They sit in the boardroom, they make those decisions to make certain people famous. They do.
we just
And
talked about that.
Sexy Red is one of those people that they sat in the boardroom and said, we're going to make her famous.
Yeah, cause she
We're
ain't
going
got
to
no
push her
talent.
on America. Because have you seen her perform? She doesn't even hardly move. Like,
Right.
she can't walk in the heels that she wears on stage. Just put your gym shoes on so that you can move around, girl. But when you see her perform, stage presence is trash, right? But at the same time, she's being pushed on us like she's the next big thing in pop star. I have never once downloaded a Sexy Red record. Like, and it's like so many of us that's never downloaded it. Come on now. Who's supporting her? Cool. It's a large percentage of people supporting her, supposedly. But it also could be the industry trying to make us believe that it's so many people backing her and supporting her. Why they associating her with Drake? Why they're trying to they're just trying to throw her on us. We have to be careful who we put backing behind, because Diddy was a monster and we all supported him. It's not even, just forget about all these allegations. Just look at the way he treated his artists. Did you see what the Locks had to do just to get out of that contract?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, they had to really start a campaign to
Yeah.
get released from their contract. Diddy refused to release them, wouldn't give them their publishing rights, right?
Yeah.
Like, just stealing from all of his artists.
Didn't Mace show up somewhere ready to to confront him about, giving him his, I don't know, getting out of a contract or giving him his publishing or something like that. I don't know.
Yes, and then he trivializes that whole interaction when Mace is telling us, like, this man has stolen from me. Like, he literally will not give me my publishing rights
Yeah.
and won't mess with me, right? Because Mace refused to do whatever it is that Diddy wanted him to do, which I think that Mace probably refused to engage in any kind of
Right.
whatever with Diddy. He probably was like, listen, if that's what fame is, I don't want it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, but I think if Mace had had to reject that, he would have been put that on blast. I think he talks about problematic behavior that he experienced with Diddy, but he's never said anything about Diddy pushing that lifestyle on him. So
Right.
he must have hid it from Diddy. He must have hid it from Mace at that time. And Locks and Locks Judah Jadakiss talks about how he was uncomfortable with a lot of the things he saw. He didn't say what it was. He did make reference to
Why don't
men.
he just say what he saw? I don't
That's what I'm saying.
understand that.
But he made reference to men making out in the club, and they was kind of like, why did he bring us here? It was just too much of a coincidence. It was
Yeah.
several men. Because back then, right, you could that was taboo, right? You wouldn't go into a straight club and see men just making out all over. So when they was with Diddy and Diddy took them to those type of places, they were like, this ain't no coincidence. Like, what's going on here? You know?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people were in those kind of situations with Diddy, but again, you're right. People are still not saying exactly what happened.
Yeah. That's
And I don't get
strange
that.
to me.
It ain't strange because you know what? I think sometimes people don't want to be wrapped up in this homeland security, right? Like
Right, right.
if you
Gotcha.
have if you have legal issues already, like the last thing you want is the feds coming to your door
That's a fact.
because you said something. But y'all got to watch Nancy Grace. She talked about this Diddy situation. She really broke it down. And what she said was that these people who think they're not mentioning things or like lightly mentioning things that they saw or might have saw,
Mhm.
she said they're all going to be subpoenaed. So
Really?
she said Jada, all those people who insinuated that they might have witnessed some behavior that was not quite right, she said that they will be named and the Homeland Security will be subpoenaing those people.
Bring that
So
ass here, boy.
so if they think and they will first talk in front of a grand jury, right? And
Mhm.
then if the grand jury, if it decides to move from there, then we shall see. But they will have to testify in front of a grand jury. We might not see the grand jury testimony
Mhm.
unless it goes to trial. But Nancy Grace, now when you get on Nancy Grace, it's a wrap. Okay. Your tail is grass. And I don't want to say the real word, the word that rhyme with grass, okay? Is a wrap for you, Diddy. Okay. And I'm not the way you want them to get into that
No Diddy. No
ass.
Diddy.
No Diddy like that, baby. Okay. You and Kels can partner on up, okay? Figure it out. I heard Kels had a little, empathy for him. He had sent
Really?
he sent some words of encouragement
Oh,
from the pen, okay? Hoping he gets to be a cellmate with his boy Diddy, okay? So I hope that happens for them, okay? They can
I'm
run
pretty
that
sure I'm pretty
business.
sure R. Kelly done partook in some of those
Oh, the
some of
Diddy
those
part.
parties.
Oh, it's not even a question, okay? Like it is absolute, right? And
Right.
you can see by the things that they both engaged in that someone made them do these things in order to be who they are. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? Like they are just passing down these cycles of craziness. And so I'm just waiting until the case is cracked completely open. I'm not talking about Diddy again until I hear will Homeland Security have footage of? That's what I want to see. I want to see, well, unless he get raided again, okay? Like unless it's something crazy. But
Yeah.
I just want to know, what did they find in this raid, because they tore his house apart. um it was just rumors of the videos having footage of high profile celebrities doing illegal things. That's what was said. And they didn't say which person said it, but they said it was someone from the federal like federal prosecution, who said that they had footage of high profile celebrities doing inappropriate things. So you know what that means. They're going to use that as blackmail.
But see, what we forget about is, and they used to talk about this in the 2000s, before the 2010s hit. They used to talk about the hip hop police, and a lot of people
Mhm.
don't think that was a real thing. But I do think the feds have a hip hop division, and they have plants, right? They can plant anybody,
That's right.
and see, people like P Diddy, they get on their high horse so much where they think they're untouchable, and they're shaking hands with people that might have been strategically placed, because like I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. Me understanding how the feds work, and you said it earlier, the feds will not waste money on a raid operation unless they have something to show the judge, oh yeah, yeah, we got to move in.
Oh yeah.
So to the people that think that the feds were playing any, meeny, miny, mo, that's not how the feds work. They have evidence. This is like when I covered the story involving DJ Envy and his partner during that housing, that real
That
estate
housing
scandal.
thing. Oh, I gotta watch that, because I was like stuck on that story. Like, I
Yeah.
gotta hear your take on it.
Well, this is the thing. Somebody got to go to prison.
That's
They
right.
already got somebody dead to the rights. Now, and I believe that DJ Envy was involved, but whatever he was able to elude as far as with the guy he was in partnership with, I don't know what they worked out or whatever. But the guy is still in jail. I forgot his
Oh, so
name.
he went to prison. He's,
Oh,
I
he's
know
still
he's still going through
he
trial,
yeah,
right?
he's still remanded.
Oh,
You
okay.
know,
He's still there. He
yes,
didn't he didn't bail out.
no, because there's too much money. It's like the money that was taken from these people. It was millions of dollars, right? And so they have hardcore evidence already on him. They already have hardcore evidence on this guy, but
Right.
they're trying to nab DJ Envy as well, and the case is not closed. This is what people are not talking about. So if we connect this with Diddy, the way the feds work, they're not going to do a large raid like that unless they got evidence. So and people are saying, "Oh, they didn't find nothing." We don't know because
We
the
don't
way the
know.
right because the way the feds work, until the case is closed, it's very feds do not do sloppy work. Now, state police and city police, they do sloppy work, right?
Mhm,
The state.
mhm.
But we talk about the federal police. No, the federal police does not do sloppy work, and that they're not going to ascertain some evidence and then let the public know. So you
That's
can
right.
have, full advantage on with your lawyers or representation. That's just not how the feds work. So
They want it to be a slam dunk. This is what's happening. They trying to trump up these RICO charges. They're trying to put Diddy under the
yes,
same way they did R. Kelly, the same way they tried to do Epstein, right? And before he himself. But they are not going to sleep until that man is in prison. And they probably working hard on this case. And I know that it's frustrating, but it could take years before we actually see
that's a fact.
something happen with this, especially with the number of like, because there's footage that's been deleted that they have to try to get,
And
out
they
the
can get it.
cloud, and they gonna be trying to retrieve stuff that he tried to remove, and it's gonna be a long
Yes.
spiral. And I just feel like they are with it. They are putting out little things here and there. You can see some of the stuff that's coming out to implicate Diddy. But this Blaze is right. There was nobody. Remember when they did that salute to Diddy? And nobody from Bad Boy came to sing with Diddy. It was really sad to see. Like, he had to have his son perform all the songs. His son was doing Mace. His son was doing all his
So the
hits.
verses did happen? It happened?
No, it wasn't a verses. They
Oh,
did a tribute to Diddy on one of those shows. I don't know if it was the BET Awards. It was something. He was getting honored that year. It was right before he put out his Love album. Remember when Young Miami performed with him? Remember, she has a
was it
song with him.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
she did that song with him. If you guys know what I'm
Act
talking
up or
about,
something like that.
yes.
Act
So
bad or something.
if
Yeah.
you guys know when I'm talking about, they did a tribute to Diddy. Nobody would perform with him. Nobody. Do you hear me? He was like struggling up there. And I thought that was
That's
so sad.
crazy.
And I was like, that's odd. Like, he couldn't get nobody from Bad Boy. That should be a red flag to people, right? Because even Clive got people who love his old creepy self. But
Yeah.
it's so many people who will say how Diddy, abused them, stole from them, misused them, mishandled them, was greedy, tried to coerce them into doing things they weren't comfortable with. And when they rejected, he kind of, ended their careers. Like, Diddy was really out here using his power and control to just get over on folks. And so I'm just I'm gonna be following this because I really want to know how it unfolds, and I can't wait until Homeland Security actually, puts out some of the evidence that they have. I know with R. Kelly, like, they found that tape, and they found certain evidence in his
Yep.
possession, and that's really what, pretty much put the nail in the coffin for R. Kelly. So I am curious. Out of all that footage, they gonna find something, right? You don't have all them cameras around your house, and
No.
they you gonna capture everything unless Diddy was turning them off when he was doing his illicit acts, which
And
I
it's just not looking good. Like all of the context clues are pointing to his guilt, and he hasn't been very vocal as well. Like
right,
even when that incident happened with Shine, that shooting in the club, he was doing press runs. He was claiming his innocence.
yep,
He's not even claiming his innocence.
yeah. He hasn't said anything. He put out
Yeah.
subliminals, like he put out his video Victory, right? I was like,
Right.
is he trying to say the charges was dropped? He put that out, but he hasn't said anything, like you said, direct. Like,
Right, exactly.
and yes, Blaze is right. It was the MTV Music Awards. He received the Global Icon Award.
Oh,
Yes, go back and just watch the tribute just to Diddy, y'all. You will see how cringy it
I'm
was.
gonna watch it.
It was so cringy. I was like, so ain't nobody from Bad Boy come up there to perform with Diddy. It was nobody. It was just King Combs and Young Miami.
That's
It was
crazy.
really disgusting. Yeah. Um, but thank y'all so much. I stay longer than I normally do just for Freezy, y'all, because I be trying to get in and out of here in these YouTube streets. Thank you, Freezy, for coming and checking me out. I'll be back next week, y'all, to talk about some hot topics. I'm gonna see what's going on. It's always something in pop culture to break down. And Freezy, as always, you are welcome to come back anytime.
I know
I
that.
appreciate having your perspective on this. And these was, this was some crazy stuff that happened, y'all. Don't be getting no transplants and pig kidneys up in here, y'all. Okay.
For
I don't
real.
want to hear nobody up in my chat talking about they got no pig kidney transplant. Okay, so please Don't forget to like my video on your way out. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already so you can get notifications when I go live. And as always, y'all check me out next week. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I appreciate you guys. Okay, big
And
screen.
I want to say thank you
Mm.
to Tawana. This you made my night, okay? And it was good to see all the it was good to see AJ in the chat as well, you know,
Yes.
as to the nostalgia. Shout out to Blaze, man. Blaze. And I forgot I seen a couple other people earlier, but yeah, man, shout out to everybody in the chat. And Tawana, you're back like you never left. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure when people seen you back on the scene, it didn't take that long for them to say, oh, you're gonna I don't you're gonna reach 1,000 subscribers in no time. So yeah, so
Speak that into existence.
yeah, in
Okay.
no time. In no
Yes,
time.
you guys. I appreciate everybody and they support. And also remember, people are used to me being in that other space. So now they got to kind of get used to me talking about some different things and moving my life along. So I'm just happy to be back and I'm happy to just kind of be doing what I want to do. And not what I'm forced into. So I can't wait to take it to the next level, y'all. Y'all wait till I get my little sound bites like Freezy, okay? No captivity. I love it. I be cracking up like, okay, let me see what I'm gonna get my little sound bites. I love it. I love it. Yes. Y'all go check out Freezy, man. Are you going live tonight, Freezy, or when you going
uh
live?
I don't think so. I think I'm gonna chill out tonight, man.
Yeah, you've been live every day.
Yeah.
When you going live again?
Well, definitely I gotta go. If I don't go live tonight, I gotta go live Monday. I try to go live every day now because I'm just trying to uh build up the platform to where um I can help other people that's close to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm on a mission to separate myself and give a different message than what we're used to seeing. And I don't claim to be a part of this space, whatever what we
You're
used to,
not.
like you was just
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, you're not Freezy. Yeah.
Like if you look on my
Totally different.
panel, and it's a lot of unfamiliar faces,
Mhm.
a lot of unfamiliar people. So and so that's what I've been doing thus far to build it up like that. You know, like I'm not trying to say I'm better than nobody. I'm just saying I'm trying to distance myself from the
Yeah.
drama and just all of the beef and because at the end of the day, let's just be honest. We are on here, you know, we're on here to have fun, but we want to try to make a little money while we're doing it too. That's just the
That's
honest
true.
truth,
No, that's true.
right? And and
Yeah.
and so what you do is once you get caught into that whirlwind of mess, you kind of cocoa yourself, uh, and you kind of limit the possibilities of the residuals that you can make,
Because you limit,
right?
right? You have to you limit your audience, right? And
Because
people who
because
are gonna
because
deal
the
with it.
wrong people have your attention.
Right.
You're not really talking to your audience anymore. You're talking to the people that done got on your damn nerves. And trust me, I'm victim of that. Listen, I done spazzed out. I done went crazy a few times too.
Now, Freezy, you know I did now. You know I engaged. I didn't get in
Uh,
the gutter with some of them sometimes too. But now I'm
yeah,
like, I'm
but
over it.
guess what? It's a new day. It's a
Mhm.
new day, you know, and we saved, we're sanctified with the Holy Ghost, so we good now, you know. Thank you,
One
Jesus.
thing
Thank
you said, like, it takes a lot of work to do this, and I don't think people understand that. And when
That's
you
a
do
fact.
these kind of channels, you're self-funded, right? So you pay for your own equipment, you pay for your own. If
Absolutely.
you chopping up videos, it's taking time from your day. Like it's so
Yes.
much time that you put into it. So when you see all that good work Freezy do over there, y'all better turn his lights on, okay? Keep his damn lights on, like he say. Okay, I love it. But I think that one thing I loved that show when you were talking about like the institutionalized racism make y'all do this, and you was just kept giving examples. I was
Yeah.
dying. I was in here cracking up the whole time because I'm like, man, Freezy was dropping some gems. Okay, he was dropping some gems in that episode, but
Well, see, Tawana, this the thing. Like, I recognize systemic racism. I did it during your live stream tonight. I recognize it.
because we know
But
it's real. But what we're not gonna do is blame it on every decision we make
yes.
as a community, right?
But Tawana, this is the thing. I'm a man, right? Like I got a house to take care of. I can't be around here sitting around crying about, oh, woe is me and systemic racism. I can't do anything because systemic racism ain't gave me reparation. No, I can't do that, because the people that depend on me, they gonna start looking at me crazy like, bro, we gotta eat. What's wrong with you?
Right.
It's all on me. And so I try to convey this message, especially to Black men from my platform, because it's pertinent that they understand that, bro, we all we got. And then like, like I've been seeing a large culture of passing the buck, like excuses, passing the buck, excuses, passing the buck. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I talk about these hoes out here, and I talk about that, but at the same time, I'm willing to understand, and I recognize that women only feel like it's okay to exude that lifestyle when men validate it.
That's right.
You can't ignore that fact. You
Mhm.
can't. You understand what I'm saying? And
Can't
so,
ignore the
yeah,
people who participate in it, but you also can't ignore the people who support it and encourage it.
facts.
And what happens in some of these spaces is they try to make you ignore one thing and only acknowledge the other. It's like,
Right.
no, they work hand in hand. You can't say this is
Thank
happening without
you.
this. So I think that now that what our message was, and we've always been kind of like that, like realistic and real, like,
Yeah.
no, this is what it is in real life. I think
Right.
that message is now what people are gravitating toward because people starting to understand like those theories and ideologies that's been pushed on
Mhm.
us is another tool that's been pushed to kind of mind control and change people's mentality. But
Mm.
it's also not realistic and it's not real life, like
Yeah. And
those stats are not a representation of our communities and our lives. So it's just hard to, it's just a me, I want people to see like how to like really navigate life for real, not what
and
they
see,
say.
and what I've come to understand is the extremist gender war people
Mhm.
on both sides, men and women, they don't really believe in family. Because if you really believe in family, you understand that both parties have to come together and come up with resolutions. Well, we're not going to come up with resolutions if I'm saying Tawana is 100% to blame and Tawana is saying Freeze is 100% to blame.
That's right.
Let's just stop talking because we ain't gonna get nowhere.
We ain't gonna get nowhere. It's just like talking to a wall, right?
Right.
It, so you know what, Freezy? I want to do a show. Like I want to go back and do a show on some of our old topics. Like
Yeah.
I want us to do one show. So like outside of my Sunday show, I want us to like just pick some topics and just talk about it and really like show a realistic view on it. So I'm gonna invite you back, Freezy. Okay, we'll
Well,
work out a
Tawana,
schedule.
listen, don't let Tawana fool y'all. She knows she got me in her back pocket. She
No,
already
I
know that.
don't.
Yes, you do. You
Freezy, you
already
got
know
your own channel. Like you know what? It's a blessing for me to have you on my show, right?
that.
Like now
Nah,
it's just
nah.
like the opposite. So
Nah, nah. It's
I
still the
appreciate
same
you.
dynamic because I wouldn't have had the mentality to actually push forward if it wasn't for you. You actually showed me that, hey, listen, this shit can get done. It could get done. And I'm not
And
the type of person that will even experience a little success and and forget about you know who and why I'm actually doing what I'm doing, and you play a big part in that, and I'm going to forever be thankful for you for giving me, a voice on your platform to just be ghetto ass Freezy. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, let's just be honest. I'm a little ghetto, and uh, I'm full of information. You just gotta be a little patient. It's gonna come out, and but I do appreciate you. I'm gonna forever appreciate you because you didn't have to do that. I'm gonna tell you something. Tawana, you're one of the most loyal people I know on YouTube. Well, to me, and because I've encountered people who I thought was, had my best interests, and because I'm a team player, right? I'm a team player, and I like for us to win, not me to win. And I've always been like that, even before I came to YouTube. I was in the music business myself for a long time. I'm an audio engineer. I mix and master. I'm a producer. Um, you know, me and the artist that I was producing for, we was getting paid regionally $3,000 a show. So I got my feet wet in this stuff. I believe in being a team player. And so what I've grown to understand is that people most people don't have those attributes. Most people are not loyal. Most people will not um remember you, always acknowledge you, and be there for you, right? They will use you for their advantage or for their upcoming, and then once they feel like they've reached a satisfactory level of attention or whatever you want to call it, they don't need you no more. And that's how most people operate. And Freezy don't operate that way. And I know that Tawana don't operate like that either. So I don't give a damn if we have 2 people watching us. It's not about the numbers, it's about the character and the person. That's what it's all about. So you're on mute.
Dang, I'm talking and all of that. I agree with 100% of what you said. Like, I have my people, my circle of people who've been with me since I was with Lapeef, like, who reached out to me. AJ is one, like he said, speaking of loyalty, like, me and AJ been cool since I was stopped being on Lapeef's show. Like, I started being on AJ's show, and he got video of that probably too. AJ, you got to put that out. We just long histories, and like, so when people like maintain loyalty with me, like, I maintain loyalty with them. Even when I don't jive with people, I usually just separate myself. I don't like to go into the beef spectrum. That's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it's just like you get associated with all these different crowds, and it's just not good for, it just wasn't good for my image. But I'm just so happy to be out of those spaces and just away from that. So I don't know why that foolishness came up in my chat today, because I don't know where he came from.
Well,
Because
well,
first
this
of
is
all, I
go
ain't
ahead.
mentioned that man name in years, because I don't want to have nothing to do with him. So I was just curious as to
What
why
I want to say, I
he
want to
came
put
up.
this out there, and I want to put this out there in the stratosphere, right? Everybody's made mistakes in the past. All of us, including Freezy,
Yeah.
But I'm serious when I say it's a new day, and it's not conducive to any of our health to harbor anything, right? And like, even if, like, I have my issues with some people in this space, but I don't acknowledge it. And I don't and I'm not gonna let anybody throw me off of my peace pedestal. I'm not gonna let nobody do it, because I've been doing good.
Me too.
I've
Yeah.
been doing good.
Like,
And
ain't
I'm telling you,
nobody about to take me
the
off my high.
the devil is busy,
He busy. Mhm.
so we just gotta, like, we just we if you made a commitment to be on a new path, the Bible says, once you change your life and you repent, if you go back, that one demon that you got rid of, you'll receive 7 more if you go back to, you feel what I'm saying? So guess what? If we partake in the foolishness again, it's gonna be worse the second time around.
Okay, okay. If you ain't learned your lesson, God said, I'll give you a lesson, okay?
Right. Right.
Well,
So
let me end on that note. Thank you for that, Freezy. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining. Please subscribe to my channel. Come back next week. And
please
I will
subscribe.
see
Listen,
you.
subscribe now
Subscribe
to
now.
Wanna G. Okay? It don't cost you
Alrighty.
nothing.
It really don't. It's just like whatever. You can ignore it when the notification if you don't want to log in, but
Man, no, hit that
don't ignore
notification bell. Man, listen.
it.
I make like listen. You gotta hit that notification bell. You gotta do everything for real.
See y'all. See y'all next week.